Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle FtW and welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War video. Yesterday, of course, we got the full multiplayer reveal and I made an absolute buttload of videos yesterday covering absolutely everything that we know so far. Those weren't really super in-depth videos, they were more of taking clips from the multiplayer reveal itself and talking about it and making videos of the reveal itself. But today we're actually going to be talking about all of the maps, weapons, as well as the perks and the equipment that were shown within the event. So there's quite a few assault rifles and SMGs, as well as tactical rifles, LMGs, and snipers. Now, of course, we have, as you can see, the return of the tactical rifles, but basically this video is talking about all of the alpha weapons that were shown. So this isn't like the only weapons that are going to be within the game. There are going to be many more assault rifles, SMGs, and so on and so forth. These are just the weapons that were available for everyone who was able to play the alpha yesterday. There was of course a very long stream, a 4-hour live stream, 3.5 of which were actually playing the game itself. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into everything. So this is, of course, once again from Charlie Intel. I will leave this link down below in the description just in case you guys want to check it out for yourself. But here it says, here's a list of the maps, weapon, perks, and equipment that were in the alpha build of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War that we got to play. There's a variety of weapons, equipment, perks, and more available in Black Ops Cold War. Note, this is just from the alpha, as I mentioned previously. So here we have the 5 maps that were shown. We have, of course, Armada, which is the map that takes place within the desert, which is a very cool map. I saw some gameplay of that from Dismo yesterday, and the map looks absolutely incredible and looks like a lot of fun. We also have Crossroads, which is a huge snow ground war map, which was very cool looking. Or actually, sorry, Armada is the boat map. My mistake. But the Armada map is the boat map, which looked very cool, looked like a lot of fun. Crossroads, of course, is the giant ground war snow map. Armada is a ground war map as well. Crossroads looked like a lot of fun. It looked very big, probably going to be one of the, not going to say the worst of the ground war maps, but it's definitely going to be one of those ground war maps that takes a lot of getting used to and a lot of learning because of the fact that it is pretty wide open and it is pretty big, so it's pretty hard to see people. We also have the map Miami, which takes place in of course the Miami nightclub, and that was, or the Miami Boulevard area, and that was the 6v6 map, which looked very good as well. Satellite was of course the map that took place in the desert. This map looked like a lot of fun, looked very good. This is of course another 6v6 map, and last but not least we have the map Moscow, which was the map that of course takes place in Moscow, Russia, but was the map that was sort of within a city, and that map looked very good as well. A lot of the maps, and this is Moscow is of course another 6v6 maps, but in my opinion a lot of the maps looked really good. They flowed very well. The players were doing well. They were moving around a lot, which was something very huge. But all 3 of the 6v6 maps looked very solid and looked like a lot of fun to play on. But again, the beta will be where we can kind of decide for sure when we actually get unlimited amount of time. Of course, unlimited being that the beta will end, but you can literally start playing the beta on Thursday and you can play it all the way through Sunday and never stop playing it. So that's kind of what I mean by unlimited time, is that we have, we can get a lot of investment in the game, see how the game plays, see how the game feels. But overall, the maps that we saw yesterday at the reveal looked solid, and I think that they're going to be definitely good maps for the game. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the primary weapons. So here we have the assault rifles. So the XM4 is the very first assault rifle, which was basically the commando that was used a lot. I think it's going to be a very strong assault rifle within the game. It looked very good. The commando returning is absolutely amazing. We also have the Krig 6, which I believe from the trailer and from the reveal itself looked a lot like the Type 25 from Black Ops, from Modern Warfare 3, sorry, but I'm not sure if the Krig is actually that specific gun, because there's also a Type 63 gun down below when we get to that in the tactical rifles, but I believe that the Krig 6 looked a lot like the Type 25 from Modern Warfare 3, so that's a very cool gun as well. And then finally we have the AK-47. Again, those were the only guns that were available on the alpha, but the AK-47 looked like it did a lot of damage as well. And as you guys know, or you may not know, the AK-47, both in Modern Warfare 2019 and in Black Ops 1, was my favorite assault rifle, so I'm very excited to give this assault rifle a go when the beta comes out, and the gun looked very good itself. The AK-47 tends to be kind of a high damage, high recoil weapon with a lower fire rate, and those are the weapons that I love within Call of Duty. Next we have the SMGs. So we have the MP5, the Type 8 821, and the AK-74U. The MP5, of course, looked a lot like the MP5 from Modern Warfare 2019. Not sure if the MP5 is going to be as good as the MP5 from Modern Warfare 2019, but we'll have to see. It looked like a gun that was used quite a bit from the gameplay that I saw. The Type 821, I'm honestly not sure if I saw any gameplay of this at the event, but again, it's an SMG itself. I may actually look up an image to see if I can find what that gun looks like, but nonetheless, that is the other SMG. And then finally, we have the AK-74U, which, from what I heard from watching Dismo's video, he says that it's the best SMG in the game at the moment. Of course, we're going to have to give it a go when the beta comes out to actually prove that point and, you know, give that an actual full go. But of course, the AK-74U is back. Looks very, very clean, looks very, very nice, and I'm very excited to see that gun returning into a Black Ops Cold War game. Of course, in Black Ops 1, it was the best SMG in the game. It was, I think it was the one that the pros used, but it was also just the best overall SMG in the game that very, very much competed with the FAMAS. So again, I'm very, very curious to see how the SMGs compare to each other. Of course, Treyarch always smashes it out of the park with weapon balance. I mean, in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, for example, you could use any gun you wanted and succeed with it. So I'm not really thinking that's going to be a problem this year with this game. But again, just kind of being aware of that, because if you can use any SMG in the game, any assault rifle in the game's automatically going to be much, much better than previous Call of Duty games where the guns were very, very limited. And now for the tactical rifles, we have the M16 and the Type 63. The M16 is, of course, the classic M16 from previous Call of Duty games. It looked very, very nice in the new engine, as well as in the gameplay that we saw from yesterday. Even in the trailer, the M16 looked fantastic. Tactical rifles are, of course, the new weapon class that was added into Black Ops 4, which basically took all of those burst fire assault rifles and burst fire and single fire assault rifles and basically put them in their own category. I'm not sure exactly what the reason behind the switch was for the developers, but I believe that part of it was they just wanted to kind of give that its own weapon class so they could put more assault rifles within the game. That's kind of how I like to see it. But the M16 is of course the 3-burst weapon that looks very, very solid. I wonder how good it's going to be. Of course, we won't know until we actually get our hands on the game. We also have the Type 63, which was the SVU/SVD type weapon that I talked about in the trailer. Single fire, high damage, probably going to be one of those tactical rifles that's probably not used that much. Kind of the Auger DMR remake for Black Ops Cold War. We'll have to see how this gun plays out, but single fire guns within Black Ops 4 were good, but not very many people like to use the augers, so I think that might be a similar fate for the Type 63, or the Type 63 could be absolutely incredible and could be basically the Shiva remake, which would be absolutely incredible. So we'll have to see how that gun plays out as well. Then for the LMGs, we have the RPD and the Stoner 63. The RPD was, of course, looks very, very good. I love the iron sights on it from the trailer, and I think will be a very solid LMG. But I honestly don't use LMGs that much in Call of Duty because I don't like being slow, and they tend to not perform very well from very close up, and I'm a very rush heavy player. But again, RPD was one of the LMGs. The Stoner 63 is returning. That is a gun that was only exclusive to Black Ops 1, so it's very, very cool that they're bringing it back. It was the last LMG that you could unlock in Black Ops 1, so it was, of course, very, very good. It did have a low ammo count, but it was basically a stronger assault rifle in pretty much every way from my experiences with it in Black Ops 1. So again, I'm very excited for this gun to come back as well. Looks a lot like the Stoner from Black Ops 1. And then last but not least, for the primary weapons, we have 2 sniper rifles, one of which is the LW3 Tundra and the Pellington 703. The LW3 Tundra is a remake of the L96 from Black Ops 1. The gun looks absolutely clean, looks so, so nice, and it is a very good sniper as well from the gameplay that I watched of the game. And then last but not least, we have the Pellington 703, which is basically the remake of the R700 type sniper. Honestly, to me, it looked more like the M40A3 from Call of Duty 4 from the gameplay that I saw. And this sniper set was not quite as good from what people have, from what I've heard from other content creators, but again, still was a fun sniper rifle to use in the game as well. So again, I think that these are going to be the beta weapons that we see for the beta, but I think there could also be some more. Again, we'll have to see on October 8th, which is officially confirmed for the beta, which is less than a month away at this point, which is very, very, very exciting. And then for the secondary weapons, we have the pistols, 2 pistols. One is the M1911 and the Diamatti. And the M1911, of course, the simple single-fire M1911, the classic pistol from previous Call of Duty games. And the Diamatti was basically a remake of the RK7 Garrison, or the B23R, or the Renetti from previous Call of Duty game, so it was a 3-round burst pistol. Looked very, very good, very strong. Probably will be the secondary that I use probably the most, unless there's some automatic secondary pistol. But then we also have the shotguns that are coming back into the secondary weapon category, which means they're nerfed down a little bit so that they are a balanced secondary, because if they made the shotguns super, super overpowered in the secondary category like they did in Modern Warfare 2, obviously that's going to be a problem for a lot of people, because, well, that gun would just be very, very overpowered, and having a secondary being overpowered is kind of a concern. But again, we'll have to see how this weapon plays out as the game goes on. So we had the Hauer 77 and the Gallo SA-12. Now, I don't know which one out of these two it was the Spaz, but I know that for a fact that the Spaz was in the gameplay that we saw yesterday, and it was in the trailers as well. But we also saw the trench gun, which is another one of the shotguns, so it's either or of those two. I'm not really sure, but the Spaz was actually very, very weak. The gameplay that I saw, the guy got a point-blank range headshot with the Spaz, and it didn't kill that enemy, so that's honestly a good thing. Overpowered shotguns are annoying, and I don't really think they fit in Call of Duty too well. I mean, I know that there's some shotgun players only out there that play Call of Duty, but I don't really like shotguns that much in Call of Duty. I find them to be very, very, very annoying, even though they're only good from a specific range. So I'm happy that the shotguns are back in the secondary category and are nerfed quite a bit more. Now, the launchers that was available is the Sigma 2. Not sure if this is kind of the Ogla remake, which is essentially a launcher that locks onto things, or if it's just sort of like the RPG. I saw no gameplay of this in the gameplay that I watched yesterday either. So again, I don't think launchers are going to be very popular, but they also could be due to the fact that the score streak system never resets. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about the perks and the equipment. I'm going to try and bang through these a little bit faster. I know I've been talking very, very slowly, and I apologize for that, so I'll try and bang these perks out a lot quicker. So for the perk ones, there's only 3 available. Again, there probably will be more at launch as well as during the beta, so again, stay tuned for that as well. But we have Engineer, which is detect enemy equipment and score streaks through walls. Simple enough. That perk's been in Call of Duty forever. We have Tacmask, which gives you maximized resistance to flashing and stun grenades, immune to gas. So again, same thing from Black Ops 4. Next, we have Flak Jacket, which takes less damage from enemy explosives and Molotov fires. This is going to be a crutch perk for me. Of course, I always use Flak Jacket in every Call of Duty game that I play, because not having Flak Jacket is going to put you at a big disadvantage. I always use Flak Jacket and will probably use it this year as well. For the perk 2s, we had Scavenger, which replenishes ammo from fallen players. Again, it doesn't refill equipment for a perk we'll get to later, but Scavenger, pretty self-explanatory, gives you more ammo. There's really not much else to talk about with that one. Then we have Quartermaster, which is recharge equipment over 25 seconds. So again, that's why it's not within Scavenger, because it has its own perk. Then we have Tracker, which is see imprints of enemy footsteps, aim at enemies to reveal them on your team's minimap. So this is, pardon me, a good perk. Once again, they keep bringing this perk into Call of Duty, and I'm not really complaining about that, because Tracker is a very, very solid perk. I mean, seeing imprints of enemy footsteps, if you're not running a UAV or anything like that, it's super, super useful. And then aiming at enemies to reveal them on your team's minimap. I'm not sure if that reveals it on your minimap as well, but that is basically taking the Fog of War system from Black Ops 4 and just putting it within a perk, which I agree with and I think is a good thing. The one thing that I really didn't like that much about Black Ops 4 during its life cycle was when you would play and then an enemy would aim at you and you would pop up on the minimap, and then all of a sudden every enemy around that specific enemy that aimed at you knew exactly where you were, which puts you at a very serious disadvantage. So I'm kind of happy that they kind of got rid of that system and put it within a perk, because that means you have to choose to use that, not it's always a feature, so that means you're always showing up. And then for the perk 3s, this is a very, very exciting perk 3 loadout, specifically for me, who loves to use high streaks and do very, very well. So we have Cold-Blooded, which is AI-controlled kill streaks will not target you, player-controlled score streaks will not highlight you, show up cold on thermal, and players and vehicles won't see your nameplates. So that is a very, very solid perk, but you also have to compete that perk with Ghost, which is undetectable by enemy spy planes whenever you are moving, planting or defusing bombs, or controlling score streaks, and Ninja, which is sprint more quietly and resistant to field mice. So all 3 perks that are in the perk 3 at the moment are very, very competitive, and you either pick one or the other. Of course, if you use a specific wild card, you can use all 3 perks from perk 3, but again, it's very, very competitive perk 3 category, and that's what I love to see, especially because all of those perks are so good. So you either have to sacrifice being seen by kill streaks, or you have to sacrifice being on the minimap all the time when there's a UAV up in there. So it's a very, very hit or miss thing. So and I love how well balanced the perk 3 is, because Ghost and Ninja and Cold Blooded are probably some of the most controversial. Well, Ghost and Cold Blooded are definitely some of the most controversial perks within Call of Duty. So the fact that they're in the same category is nothing but a good thing in my personal opinion. And then last but not least, we have the tacticals and the lethals, which were available within the alpha, which is the smoke grenade and the stun grenade for the tactical side. And then for the lethals, we have the frag and the C4. Pretty self-explanatory. The C4 is a bit different from Modern Warfare 2019. You can throw it and detonate it by double tapping square or X, but it does have a timer, so you have to throw it, and it has to stick on something before you can detonate it. You can't just throw it and detonate it like Black Ops 2. Personally, I wish that it was like Black Ops 2, but I'm not really upset about that either, because then it's a little bit less annoying. But anyway, guys, I just want you to do it for this video. There's a lot of stuff that we covered, a lot of stuff here in this video. I apologize, it was probably a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but there's still a lot of stuff to cover here. And honestly, that's pretty much it for big Black Ops Cold War news for the time being. There's really not much else to talk about at the moment, of course, except for some minor small things, which is that map votes returning, as well as we have executions as well as weapon inspection returning. So all that stuff is not really big video dedicated, but nonetheless, it's very, very cool that they're having this stuff in there as well. It's just those small things that really add to Call of Duty. The only thing that we don't know yet is the rank up system, and hopefully, part of me thinks that they didn't talk about the rank up system within the reveal because they saw the community being like, no, we don't want the seasonal rank system coming back. We want the prestige system to come back. So part of me believes that they didn't show that because they went back to the drawing board to get prestige done before the game comes out. That's what I believe, and I hope anyways, because prestige mode, as I mentioned in that video, is just a staple of Call of Duty, and I would be very, very sad to see it go in Call of Duty for good. That would be very, very upsetting. So hopefully they saw the poll that Charlie Intel did, they saw all the community backlash, and they went back to the drawing board to get prestige system back into this game, and that's why they didn't talk about it in the review yesterday. But anyway, guys, that's what I'm going to do for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new for everything Black Ops Cold War news and information and gameplay when I actually am able to get my hands on the game. But anyways, I'll see you guys all on some more Black Ops Cold War news and information very, very soon.